We're down here at the fantastic autograph session where all the wonderful fans can meet and greet our drivers, have a quick word with them, and obviously get an autograph, which is the main thing. The sun is shining down here and the vibes are very positive. Everyone's having a great time. There's a massive queue, though, for our drivers here this weekend. It's great to see the Belgian fans are definitely out in force. We're going to have a chat with some of our drivers and see what they've got to say here this weekend. Our very own May Fisher is the world's prettiest paperweight right now. She's making sure all the posters don't go flying away. Are you having a good weekend, May?
Nice weekend, really nice weekend. The sun is over, perfect.
May drives our Ford F-Max for the inspection laps that you see on the circuit, the big bright orange machine, which is just to our left-hand side over here. But I'm going to try and squeeze in just a moment and have a word with some of our drivers and see what they've got to say, see how quickly we can make our way down the road. We'll start here with Stefan Kirsch, who is back with us for this weekend. He had I believe, a hand injury earlier on in the season that stopped him, unfortunately, competing with us back at the Lausitz Ring. Stefan, good to have you back on the grid with us. How are you feeling for this weekend?
Yeah, not good English.
Me neither, mate, me neither. Well, best of luck either way. Clemens, you've obviously had a very good qualifying session here this morning, starting near the front of the grid. Confident?
Thank you. I think it depends on your underwear. Please, can you show it to the camera and shaking hand to Lina?
So we have the whole Tiger Pants thing going on at the moment, the lucky Tiger Pants, and Clemens gave me a pair yesterday of these amazing Tiger Pants, so I promised him I'd wear them today. Bradley, I understand you're not very well this weekend, so I'm going to keep my distance, but how are you feeling?
Yeah, a bit ill, but yeah, no, had a decent qualifying, so look forward to the first race.
Best of luck, mate. John, Mark, you two have never got anything interesting to say, so I'm going to go straight past you. I'm totally joking. How are you?
Yeah, superb, mate. Yourself?
Yeah. Not bad, thank you.
Disappointed with qualifying, but we sat in pits and waited and it cost us, but we've got plenty of pace, so we'll see where we go.
And Mark, what about you? All feeling good underneath you?
Yeah, feeling good. So it's nice and sunny now. It's dried up a bit, so hopefully better in the race.
Fingers crossed. And Sasha, what on earth are you signing there, mate? Oh, it's a tiny truck. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a vehicle.
Oh, of course. Don't tell everybody. How are you feeling after a good qualifying session?
Yeah, I'm really, really happy. You know, the truck, it's really good pace in this moment. Every time when I drive with the truck, I become my feedback better back. And I hope we have a good start. We have a good first lap, and then I can give my pace, and then I hope I stand after the race on the podium.
And Stefan, how did you enjoy watching qualifying?
Yeah, so I don't watch him.
No, but our fingers crossed for a better afternoon for you guys.
Yeah, thanks.
And Jonathan, great to have you back with us again this weekend, back in the sunshine. You had some great results at Misano at the start of the season, so you must be hoping to repeat that.
Yes, sure, I hope to repeat. But all the drivers here have a lot of experience this year in European Championship. It's only my second in European Championship, so I will try to have a podium in Promoters Cup. It's my goal, but the fight will be hard.
Well, we look forward to watching it. Jose Eduardo, a difficult qualifying session, understandably not too happy about that one, but we know you can fight forward from the back of the grid. Are you excited for the race?
Yeah. I have a little fail in the quali, but I try to be calm and catch some positions for the race.
Quite frankly, Jochen's trying to pull my trousers down. Jochen, are you having a good day?
No, we are really happy today. We have the mistake from René in the time practice, so all good, all under control. Now it's racing, and that's why we are here.
Yeah. Exactly. Steffi, great to see you again as well. You got a smile on your face as ever. Happy and confident for another win this weekend?
Yeah, for sure. Always confident to win. Now it's race one. The starting position is not that perfect. I was just too slow, too calm in the qualifying. Didn't push too much, and but I think we are fast enough to fight for the podiums.
Best of luck, Steffi. Thank you, Antonio. Obviously, we've already discussed your 900th race here this weekend. You happy and confident as well?
Yeah, happy. I'm in fourth place, close to the third place. So yeah, let's hope we can fight for the podium.
Fingers crossed, mate. Have a good one. Luke, you were talking to me this morning about the fact that the truck feels a lot better now. You've got it in a stable platform, so more confidence to push even further forward from a good qualifying?
Yeah, definitely our best qualifying of the year. So let's see what happens in the race. Obviously, that's a different story here in Zolder with brakes and stuff. So yeah, we're happy with the truck and hopefully see what happens in the race.
You want some more British weather, don't you? You want it to rain?
I need it to rain, yeah, for sure.
Louis, great to see you. Sorry, I don't speak much Spanish, I'm afraid. You happy and looking forward to the weekend?
Muy a gusto. Y para adelante.
Yeah.
Okay.
Best of luck.
Venga.
Yeah, so that's a quick word with all of our drivers then during the autograph session here. Fantastic vibes, a really lovely positive atmosphere. It is incredibly windy this weekend, I'll have to tell you. There's a wind farm next door, I should have really thought about that, but yeah, everyone seems to be in good spirits regardless of how their morning has gone. So let's look forward to the race, shall we? That's a blunder and a half. Let's have a good one. Hopefully no more blunders then here this afternoon. Welcome to the grid and the first race of the day here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship from Circuit Zolder. We're ready for a really solid afternoon of racing after a very busy day yesterday and after an interesting qualifying session as well. We've got quite a mixed grid on our hands here. We have Norbert Kish heading for pole position. Sasha Lenz is going to be starting from 7th on the grid. He's only on the 3rd row here, on the 4th row of the grid, and he won't be too chuffed with that. But one guy that I know that is chuffed with his times is Luke Garrett, and we're going to make our way over to speak to him in a moment. I might need some of the team to open the door for us. I don't quite know how these things work, to be fair. Can I just yank on this? Yeah, I can. Self-service here, Luke. How are you, mate? You must be buzzing after qualifying. A really good performance from you, and the truck seems mega.
Yeah, obviously we're really happy because we've had a lot of problems last year, and this year has been a little bit of a similar situation. But yeah, we're absolutely buzzing. It's kind of shows the true pace of the truck now, and obviously I'm starting to get to grips with it. So we're looking forward to starting this high up, and hopefully we can go forward, not backwards.
And obviously with this circuit as well, it's a huge challenge around this place. So if you feel confident and comfortable at this circuit, that must make you feel even more happy because it's one of the trickiest ones on the calendar, isn't it?
It's definitely one of the trickiest and tightest that there is, and it's always been one of my favourites, even when I was doing the Dutch Championship here. So I look forward to Zolder every year.
Well, we might have to just mind out a second here, and I'll mind your door as René Reinert comes by. It's a little bit intimate, this, isn't it? René's all good. There we go. He's not going to get any penalties for pushing you off the circuit in that case. How are the team feeling then? Is the whole camp happy at the moment? Everyone doing as best they can? Well, I know they do as best they can, but are they all happy?
Yeah, everyone's happy. Look, I would say it's always really disheartening because obviously because of last year and the beginning of this year, it is very disheartening to not get any results. So now we're starting to show true pace. We can just look forward to the rest of the season, hopefully.
Well, best of luck. I hope it goes well.
Thank you, mate.
Right then, do you want me to close your door or leave it open? I'll leave it open. Let some draft in and let it cool down slightly. Let's have a little wander forward, shall we? And we'll get ready for some more interviews in just a moment. In fact, very soon we're going to be welcoming our international TV spectators from around the world and having all them in the stream with us. Boris is doing his little dance here before the race. Keep dancing for us, love. Just a moment. Oh, it says give us a moment. The music. This better be fast. He's having a great day. You having a good day?
Yes.
Always.
Hello Bulgaria. Hello everybody.
He's having a fantastic time. We're going to now go to the TV bumper to welcome all of our international TV audience from around the world. We'll be grabbing some more interviews in just a sec, so hang around if you're on our live stream right now, and we'll be back in just a second. Hello everybody, welcome to Sunday and welcome to the first race of the day here from Circuit Zolder in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. We're here on the grid ahead of this first race. It's bound to be an exciting one after a very interesting qualifying session. I have the Jose Eduardo Rodriguez machine just over to my right hand side here, but Sasha Lenz is much further down the grid than he was yesterday. He was on 2nd position yesterday. He's behind my cameraman right now on the 4th row of the grid. We're here by Steffi Halm, who is discussing things with her team at the moment. She had a very busy afternoon yesterday, obviously involved in the incident which we saw with Norbert Kish. We'll give them time to discuss things before we jump in for an interview. If you've just joined us, we just had a quick word with Luke Garrett. He's had a fantastic qualifying here this morning. He is 2nd in the Chrome class and very confident ahead of today. And we'll try and have a quick word with Steffi and say hello. Steffi, back again in the fight, feeling a bit more pleased this morning after a bit of a bitter day yesterday?
Yeah, you know, the qualifying went quite good. The position is not that perfect, but I made a little mistake, so I knew I can be 1 row more in front, and that's positive for the race. And yeah, we will see what happens. We will fight and maybe hopefully gain some positions.
And does the truck and everything feel okay after yesterday? The team did a great job fixing it by the look of it. Looks brand new.
Yeah, the truck is 100% on top level. But to be honest, we didn't have much damage. So it was more or less plastic and stuff like that. Everything else was okay.
Fantastic. Well, best of luck.
Thank you.
Okay, Steffi Helm then, confident ahead of today. We're going to quickly look back now at some of the highlights from that race yesterday, because that helped shape a lot of how the afternoon went. It was a very dramatic second race, lots of fun to watch. We'll have a look at some of the best pictures from that. And hello again, everybody. Chaz Draycott now, out of breath, admittedly, in the commentary box here, but that's where I just was, with Steffi Helm, having a quick chat with her ahead of this race. Obviously, big moment at the end of the race yesterday. Unfortunately, quite a bit of damage to the trucks and quite a few tempered flares, let's say, but this is competition at the end of the day. I'm Chaz Draycott, out of breath Chaz Draycott, very unfit Chaz Draycott here at Circuit Zolder for the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Having a great weekend, though, let that be known. I am thoroughly enjoying myself here at this circuit this weekend. It's a pleasure to be entrusted with not just the commentary, but also the presentation duties as well of this great championship. There is Mark Taylor. He's going to be starting this one from the 4th row of the grid alongside Sasha Lenz, the two of them side by side on that 4th row. Mark having a really solid qualifying, and it's a great time for him to do that as well, because the likes of Clemens Hecker and Bradley Smith will be further down the order. They didn't make it through into Q2 earlier on today, so they're not going to be of a major threat off the start of the race anyway to Mark. So this is his time to get a big points advantage over the rest of the field in that chrome class. As it stands at the moment, Clemens Hecker is 1 point clear of Bradley Smith, and then Mark Taylor is only 2 points back from Bradley. So the three of them only separated by 3 points. And if even Mark finishes first with Clemens Hecker in second, he will take the lead of the Chrome Championship, because you get 20 points for winning the first race of the day, whether that be overall or in class. And you get 15 for finishing in second place. So I'm hearing from some of our wonderful people behind the scenes here that there will be yellow flags covering race... sorry, I can't get my words out here. There'll be yellow flags covering turns 11 to 12. In the previous race that we just had here this afternoon at Zolder, there was unfortunately a gearbox failure in one of the other trucks, and it put a lot of fluid down and caused an incident in that race. So now that particular area of the circuit will be covered by yellow flags all the way through, so no overtaking there. To be honest though, that part of the circuit isn't really a key overtaking opportunity anyway, so it's not going to affect our racing too much. It's just that the drivers are obviously advised to be a little bit more cautious through there as this race goes on. But we're excited to see just how it goes about. Some fans there, of course, just observing the incredible structure of these machines in truck racing. And we always take great pride in our machines and how well presented they are. They are absolutely stunning, and it's a beautiful grid. So too is this thing, the Ford F-Max at the front end of the field. This is the official truck of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, driven by May Fisher on the inspection laps. May has been our committed driver throughout the season. And I've mentioned before the Ford F-Max 500 Custom, which is a version of the Ford F-Max that is built around having one driver's seat and no passenger seat. It's basically got everything for the solo driver on the road. It includes a kitchen where it's got a sink, it's got a microwave, it's got a table, there's loads of storage, and there's a larger bed that is converted from the space where the seat on the right-hand side normally is. It's a fantastic bit of kit, and May showed me around that truck earlier today and how all of it works, and it's a wonderful, wonderful machine. Norbert Kish there giving a fist bump to all of his team as they are asked to leave the grid as the session begins. Csaba saying final good luck for him as well. A big shout out to Csaba Bako as well, by the way, for giving us his time during the warm-up session this morning for an interview about Norby's truck and everything they had to do to fix the thing. And Bellew Jr. is once again singing the song of that MAN engine. Here is May Fisher taking the Ford F-Max around the circuit. At great pace as well. Lovely to see. She often has passengers in the right-hand seat of the F-Max for these demonstration laps. Yellow flag is out there. That's where it was. So turn 11 to turn 12 is where that ends up. So the drivers have to be mighty careful through there to not overdo it. And obviously, no overtaking allowed. Let's have a look at said track, shall we, as well, and we can explain even further in detail where that yellow flag will be. So, the first sector of the circuit, a big left-hander leading into 3 long sweeping right-handers. So if you can hold the momentum around the outside in the first couple of corners, you'll be on the inside for the next 3. However, not the Kleiner chicane. So where you can see Turleman Bocht on the right-hand side of the track map there, leading down to Boulderberg Harspel Bocht, that's where the incident took place earlier on. There's a small crest over a hill, which is where the entrance to the circuit is. And unfortunately, one of the trucks lost its gearbox there and dumped a load of the fluid down on the circuit. So there was a bit of an incident there, to say the least, and that's where the yellow flags are. So that section out of the Villeneuve chicane down towards Boulderberg Harspel Bocht is where the circuit will be at a reduced pace, and obviously trucks will be told not to overtake through there unless obviously it's something unavoidable and somebody is off at the side of the road and they're able to go past or something like that. But it's very unlikely there. It's just an unfortunate set of circumstances caused that incident in the earlier race, and everybody is okay from what I've seen. I'm actually good friends with one of the teams that were involved in said incident. Went to see them, make sure their drive is all right. Everything is good. It's just obviously at the cost of the team with the truck having to be repaired. And the Iveco SE-Way pace truck is making its way off the grid now. This fully electric pace truck is wonderfully provided by Iveco, one of the lead partners of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. We're very grateful to have them on board. And we've often seen their bio-LNG powered Iveco SE-Way, but this version, the full electric truck, has been fantastic to see as well. And they've been sharing duties throughout the season, taking it to different countries and touring it all around Europe. Norbert Kish and Jochen Hahn start on the front row once again. A grid pairing that we've seen many times before on the front row. But Antonio Albacete and René Reinert make an interesting duo for row 2. Antonio hoping for less damage in today's races than he had yesterday, but I'm sure Tim wants something to fix. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez in 5th place with Steffi Halm alongside. Steffi, of course, involved in the incident with Norby yesterday. and hoping for a clean run through. Sasha Len's an interesting one to watch in this race because he qualified second yesterday, of course, now starting from the back of the Titan drivers in 7th. Mark Taylor takes an important pole position in Chrome. Luke Garrett as well, second in Chrome ahead of Jonathan Andre. The two of them making a wonderful 5th row of the grid. Next up on the 6th row, John Newell and Louis Requenco, a driver that, of course, has a lot of pace at the moment, but just not the consistency to pull off the points that he needs. Clemens Hecker and Bradley Smith on row 7 was a big surprise to all of us here in the championship after those two are the top 2 in the Chrome series. We have Stefan Kirsch and Stefan Fass making up an all-Stefan rear row of the grid. Both trucks were out there on the circuit earlier, which is good to see. We've had an unfortunate weekend once again for Stefan Fass with the unreliability of their machine. It's let them down on a number of occasions. The Scania, sorry, not the Scania, it's the Freightliner, isn't it? They had a lot of reliability issues with the Scania as well, unfortunately, in the past, but the Freightliner now starting to sing a little bit more. I mean, when the pace of that beautiful machine, as you see it there, when it's sorted out, it is really sorted out. It is a very, very fast truck. We saw it go very well at the Slovakia ring earlier on in the season. And they'll be looking for some more points in the later stage of the championship. At this point now, they're just using the later parts of the season to identify the problems and put it in a race scenario and fix the machine itself. There's all the cement dust and sand on the right-hand side where the truck that went off the circuit had its failure. You can see a massive amount of oil down there. The marshals and the officials have done a great job of fixing the barrier and working on the repair there, so hats off to them. They've done a wonderful job. And we are about to go racing for the second day of action here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. It's Norbert Kish on the right-hand side of your screen and Jochen Hahn on the left. The two of them wait for the lights, and race 3 of the weekend is underway now. They hop back slightly onto the rear axle, get the power down, and away they go. Antonio Albacete and René Reinert nearly rubbing panels into turn 1. I think there was a small bit of contact there between the two MANs, and look at that. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez says, thank you, down the inside I'll go. Little bit of contact there as well, and René has shuffled out of the way. Steffi Halm down the inside now to try and make a move as well. John Newell on the outside of Jonathan Andre. Bad look of it. Oh, contact there at the back. Bradley Smith and Clemens Hecker, I think. That's pivotal, as those two are, of course, leaders in the Chrome Championship. They don't want to be doing anything like that. Sasha Len's there side by side with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. And side by side in the background, René Reinert sideways. John Newell kicking up a bit of gravel as well. Norbert Kish leads into the chicane. Then it's Jochen Hahn, Antonio Albacete. Fantastic stream of them flying past my window here. Clemens Hecker has dropped to the very back of the order. He's in last place now as he got knocked wide by that contact. I think he struggled to get it back up to pace on the exit of the corner. And Jochen Hahn having a go at Norbert Kish here. We don't often see this at the start of the race. Normally, Norby is out of the blocks and away, but he's putting up a fight right now is Jochen. Luke Garrett there side by side with René Reinert. He's now at the front of the Chrome class as well as Luke. He's overtaken Mark Taylor in all of the mayhem and chaos that happened. I think as Reinert came back on, he held up Mark Taylor. Mark has said to me he's going to pick his battles. Let's have a look. Look at number 23 in the middle there. Just as they turn in there, there's a little tap between Reinert and Albacete. That puts Reinert wide, and then Jose Eduardo shovels his way through down the inside. Steffi Halm goes to the left-hand side of René Reinert, and then, yeah, he's on the inside line, which all breaks early. And that means that Luke Garrett in the black and blue truck there goes round the outside and takes the position. Really good opportunism there by the Brit, overtaking his countryman and getting ahead of René Reinert. René has taken that place back now and left all the Chrome drivers to fight amongst themselves. But it's Norbert Kish from Jochen Hahn at the front. Norby has held him off for that first lap and is now starting to stretch his legs a little bit at the front. That truck works so well in the final sector around here at Zolder. And everybody trying to settle into more of a rhythm. Mark Taylor and Luke Garrett right together. The two of them have raced for a long time in the British Championship together. And now the top 4 in Chrome separated by absolutely nothing. It's Garrett, Taylor, Andre and Newell. Louis Rykwenko not too far behind either. He's always waiting in the wings, hoping to take advantage. They head down towards the chicane once more, and Sasha Lenz is hoping to gain some places off of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. But he's gained 2 already, getting ahead of Reiner and ahead of Halm. So that's helped him in his initial burst of positions in the race. But there's Norbert Kish leading Jochen Hahn, Antonio Albacete, the top 3 at present. Luke now going very defensive into the Villeneuve chicane, moves it to the inside line. He's trying to hold on to these points as best he can. Jonathan Andre wants a piece of this as well, trying to go one way then the other around Mark Taylor. John Newell in the mix also. Great battling once again in Chrome. There's a penalty marker being absolutely flattened by Stefan Faas. There's no denying that one, sir. This is fantastically entertaining stuff in the Chrome battle, and it has been all season so far. All the dust that you see there is from the sand and the cement dust that's been put down to absorb all of the moisture and the fluid that was put down in the previous race. So that is perfectly normal, do not worry. But as the Titan drivers break away now, it's Luke Garrett very much under pressure and under attack from Mark Taylor. Mark has just had his first warning for penalty markers, in fact. That's just come through, thanks to Alice Holloway, who's in race control and letting me know of all of these penalty marker warnings that come through. Stefan Kirsch having one as well. Lovely shot there in the reflection of the pit building. As, ooh, running wide there. Who was that? Was that Louis Rykwenko, I think, running wide? Just ahead of Bradley Smith it was. Yeah, he had a very wide line through that first corner. But interesting first couple of laps there. Now Norbert Kish still leads the way, 1.4 seconds clear of Jochen Hahn, 1.5 give or take. Now there's an interesting sight. Sorry to detract from the racing for a second, but in the background there, huge cargo container ship. Now I never realised that there was a river down there, and during one of the earlier races that I was spectating before, I saw this huge cargo ship go past, and I couldn't believe my eyes. But yeah, it seems like it's a very multi-industrial part of the world, this small corner of Belgium that we find ourselves in. Right now, there's a small corner that Jonathan Andre finds himself in, and that is with John Newell all over the back of him through the Villeneuve chicane. They head to Terlemenbocht now. And again, yellow flags wave in the background, so no overtaking through that sector. We heard at the end of qualifying that Clemens Hecker was struggling with his brakes, and it seems like maybe still having that same struggle here. He's not been able to get past Stefan Faas as of just yet. But Stefan also right up behind Bradley Smith and trying to hold on to whatever position he can. But Norbert Kish leads the way. Jochen Hahn, second position. Antonio Albacete in third, with his protege, effectively, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez just behind. And then Sasha Lenz, Steffi Halm with René Reinert in the background. Black and white flags going out, which is for penalty markers. That's for truck 64, which is Louis Rykwenko. But Luke Garrett is on a mission at the minute at the front. He's put in a faster lap than Mark Taylor on that previous circulation, by 0.8 of a second as well. 0.8 is quite the margin. Great improvement by him. And a lovely clean lap. And of course clean because it runs on 100% renewable HVO diesel. All of our race trucks do. That's why you don't see these huge black clouds of smoke of diesel coming out of them. It is all 100% renewable fuel. So one of the most sustainable championships, if not the most sustainable championship you will ever experience in motorsport. Not only that, but we have, of course, the electric tractor units and so on. Bio-LNG pace truck, an electric pace truck. And the series has a 3-star environmental accreditation award from the FIA on top of that for all of its efforts. We even have a team in our midst as well who have an environmental accreditation. There is the graphic for it. It's almost like Patrick can hear me. But T-Sport Burnau have their own environmental accreditation star as well. So just shows that not just the series as a whole, but those that compete within it have their own fantastic achievements in how environmentally friendly the series is. Lap 4 almost in the books here at Zolder then, and it is still Norbert Kish leading the way. Great stuff from him in these opening laps. Let's have a quick look at the lap times, shall we? And see exactly what times he is doing. He's just about to cross the line now. And it's a 157.3 for Norbert Kish, 157.7 for Jochen Hahn. So 0.4 of a second taken into the lead there for Norby. Starting to disappear over the horizon a little bit, but Jochen still very much in his midst at least. Jonathan Andre and John Newell having a bit of a fight there together. Jonathan Andre moving to the inside line to cover it off, and John tries the cut back on him. He's going to be on the outside for the next corner. Lovely looking move this by John Newell. Can he make it work? See whether he manages to get it all the way around the outside and carry the momentum as a result. As, oh dearie me, Jonathan Andre's off. He's off in the gravel and he's back on the grass. Locks it up again. John's got the position, but at what cost to Jonathan Andre? He'll be gutted with that one. I'm not sure if there was contact on the exit or anything, but we saw it from the wider angle camera, unfortunately. Couldn't quite see if there was a big hit or anything, or whether Jonathan just tried to carry too much speed around the outside. Looks like Bradley Smith's had a busy race already. I spoke to Bradley's dad Tony earlier on, and he said unfortunately Bradley not feeling much better today. But he's hopefully feeling a bit more well rested at least, and manages to score some points here. I said to Tony as well, it's a bit of damage limitation. Here's another look then. It does look like John was just understeering wide through turn 3. Nothing malicious, of course, but just a little bit of understeer there, and Jonathan Andre really had nowhere else to go. So we'll have to see if anything comes of that. I think in some circumstances that would be considered pushing another driver off the circuit or forcing another driver off track, I think is the official wording. But hopefully for John, that is not the case. I'm sure Jonathan Andre would like a bit of justice done for that. But the Chrome fight has been really the highlight so far of the middle part of the season in particular, because we can never guess who is going to be at the front of the class. It's absolutely fantastic. Everybody has a good weekend and then a bad weekend, and the consistency really isn't there. It's amazing to watch, giving us plenty of entertainment. Luke Garrett leads the way in Chrome at the moment, 8th place overall, and that'll put him on pole position for race 2. Mark Taylor in 2nd place in Chrome is 9th overall, and John Newell completing the current Chrome podium and also the top 10 positions. Norbert Kish leads the way, 3 seconds to the good now over Jochen Hahn. Antonio Albacete holding 3rd place, but he's only about a second ahead of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Jose Eduardo not completely out of the question here. He could potentially get a overall podium. I'm just having a quick look actually at the standings to see how many podiums he's had this season. Jose Eduardo. He's had 4 appearances on the podium this year. His first one came at the Slovakia ring, but he's had 2 race victories, and of course the 2nd place yesterday as well for his troubles. And we look here at Bradley Smith, truck 11, chased down by Stefan Faas in truck 24. Lovely to see Stefan back up to pace now, and that truck is working beautifully for him. When it's fast, it is very fast, but it's the reliability that has held them back. Fans everywhere around the circuit here. It's been lovely to see the turnout in huge numbers. And I met a long-time friend of mine actually recently. For those of you that don't know, I started in sim racing commentary before doing real-world motorsport. And a good long-term friend of mine, Brian Crowles, from around this area, has always been supportive of my sim racing work. And we finally met for the first time in person today, and it was wonderful to see him. So I hope wherever he is around the track, he's enjoying the action. And wherever he is around the track, he'll have a good view, because he's about 7'9". Either way, we have Kish doing another lap that was a tenth or two quicker than Jochen Hahn, so he continues to open that up. But a lot of the drivers are setting personal bests as well, actually. We've had a personal best from Albacete on that last lap, 158.1, 158.3 personal best from Steffi Halm. And then even then, John Newell, Louis Requenco, Jonathan Andre, Bradley Smith, all doing their fastest laps of the race. So the pace is definitely not dropping off after the first couple of laps. It's continually improving. And everybody is getting quicker and quicker. Unfortunately, though, as a result of that, no overtaking moves just yet. We wait to see who is the first to break here and take a position. Clemens Hecker right up behind Stefan Faas. The two of them were previously teammates in the Teams Championship as Team Schwedenpower, I believe. We've had a number of penalty marker warnings come through. The number 33, Stefan Kirsch, is the latest to receive a warning. You can hear the tyres really screaming for mercy, if anything. So a lot of these guys are trying their very best in that hairpin to get the truck to behave. No penalties or anything through at the moment, though, for this. Everyone in the Chrome class now not spreading out as much, but they're staying a bit more stable in position, aren't they, as things stand? Trying to do the points in the Chrome class on the fly as well, just to keep an eye on who takes the lead next, because we know it'll be Mark Taylor if it finishes like this, but by how much is the question. Bradley Smith will be in second and Clemens Hecker will be third. That's if it stays like it is. There will be 9 points between them, and then even then Clemens Hecker will only be 9 points ahead of John Newell as well, so the whole lot will only be separated by 18 points for the top four. It's fantastic. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez is very close to Sasha Lenz right now. There's an incident under investigation, which I believe is the first corner incident between Jose Eduardo and Rene Reiner. That could come to haunt Jose Eduardo in the later moments. He knows he's got that hanging over him now, which I'm sure the team will tell him, but he'll push and do what he can to negate any potential penalty. We often see 5-second, 10-second penalties come through for such an offence. So obviously it's something that he'll have to consider. But Norbert Kish across the line, bursts into the sunshine there as he crosses the start-finish line. Antonio Albacete in third there, with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Sasha Lenz next up. Despite Sasha not having the smoothest of qualifying sessions, he's doing a good job here. He's gained 2 places with an opportunistic start, and now he sits behind Jose Eduardo on lap 9 of this race. 12 laps in total, of course. The ticker in the top left that you can see tells you how many laps we've completed. So we've finished the 8th, and we're into the final third of this race now. And Norby stretching his legs at the front. Jochen Hahn is just about to fly past my window. Hard on the brakes. Same with Antonio Albacete. They brake so late for the chicane. It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic, I must say. Outside my window here, they come steaming past under the bridge, and then by the time they've got past me, they're still not braking. It's amazing. There's quite the gap in the field there back to Luke Garrett, but I'm sure Luke won't mind because he's got quite the gap back now to Mark Taylor. Same with him and John Newell. All the Chrome drivers seemingly spread out until it gets back to Bradley Smith and Stefan Faas. The two of them close together. Clemens Hecker has dropped away from those pair a little bit here. His last lap, definitely not his best. It was 3 seconds off what he'd done before. They were having trouble with the brakes earlier. So it was locking up quite a lot into all the chicanes. But I do wonder what the situation will be with that penalty for Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, because I think it's, well, if it goes one way, it's likely that it will be him that gets one, because he was the truck on the inside, Rene Reinert was on the outside, and Rene was already on the gravel effectively. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what comes through, what gets confirmed. And yes, we have been told, 5-second penalty for Jose Eduardo Rodriguez for forcing another truck off the track, and that being Rene Reinert at the first corner. So understandable, it happens. And he now has to pay the price for such a move. But the race goes on. He does have a good gap back to some of the trucks behind, but I think he will slip behind Rene Reinert still. Speaking of Rene, though, he's under investigation now for overspeeding. I was just saying this morning it would be great for him to make it through a session without a penalty, because he's had a nightmare day of penalties. But I'm afraid it's caught up with him once again here. Jose Eduardo now right in front of Sasha Lenz. He's going to want to push even harder now. I was saying before that he won't want to push too much to catch up with anybody ahead. He won't want to overdo it, but now he needs to try and make up for the 5-second penalty, because those trucks are all piled in behind him. And as it stands right now, he would drop behind Rene Reinert into 7th place. It would be wonderful for his reverse grid chances, of course, because it'll put him on the front row, but he won't want that. He'll want to get some more points from this, because in his current position he will score the same amount of points that he would score for winning the the second race of the day. He'd score 10 points for finishing in 4th. I'm just going to double check that actually. Yeah, 4th place gets you 10 points in this race. In race 2 it gets you 7, and a race win in race 2 of the day is 10 points. So it's the important time to score them in this first race. We are on the penultimate lap here of race number 3 of the weekend in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. It should be our 23rd race of the season, this, but factually we've lost 2 races throughout the year at Lausitzring and Slovakia Ring due to weather and conditions. So it is officially the 21st race of the season, but it should be round 23. Jochen Hahn just kissing the gravel slightly there on the exit of the Lucien Bianchi box, and Norbert Kisch gliding his way into the Kleine chicane. There is Jochen Hahn, and there Antonio Albacete. You can see the truck dive down onto the brakes as they get into that chicane. Sasha Lenz still very much in the picture here behind Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. He's filling his mirrors. He's not filling them with black clouds of smoke, though, because it's running on 100% renewable HVO diesel, that machine, just like all the others in the field. And there we go, 10-second penalty for Rene Reinert. So that helps out Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, because he will now drop behind Rene as things stand, but then Rene gets a 10-second penalty all of his own. So that promotes Luke Garrett up a position, does it? No, it doesn't actually, because the gap is more than 10 seconds. So Rene will hold his position in 7th, but it helps Jose Eduardo because it means that he only loses 2 positions instead of 3. We have Norbert Kisch now just crossing the line to complete the 11th lap of the race. There he is. On to the final lap ahead of Jochen Hahn in 2nd position, then Antonio Albacete in 3rd. Between the 3 of them, they have 15 championship titles. It's incredible, isn't it? Norbert Kisch with 6, Jochen Hahn with 6, Antonio with 3. And Antonio obviously celebrating the weekend of his 900th race. The first race of the weekend was race 900. 901 was one to forget. 902, he'll be very happy about. Here comes Norby flying up towards our camera. It looks fantastic, doesn't it, that truck, with this humongous chunky wheel arches. Great looking body kit on that truck that they've spent a lot of time working on to perfect the airflow and everything over it. The trucks aren't the most dependent on aerodynamics, of course, but they don't do it for no reason. But once again, we've seen a lovely performance from Norbert Kish. Puts it on pole in qualifying, drives away at the front of the field. At the moment, the gap is just over 5 seconds. It's usually around 5 or 6, I tend to say. But doing a wonderful job of it right now. Leading another race in the championship, hoping to take a victory. And he makes it once more around the Boulderberg Harshbelt Bocht. And reasserts the fantastic dominance on the championship that we've seen from him. Into the chicane, the Jackie X-Bocht. Once more he goes around the final corner, over the crest of the hill. And race 23 here in 2025 goes the way of Norbert Kish. He takes his 15th win of the season. And a fantastic drive as ever, with Jochen Hahn in second place. More important points for him. And Antonio Albacete takes another podium for T-Sport Bernau. Back-to-back podiums for him. That's his 6th of the season. And the rest of the Titan drivers cross the line. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez finishes next up, but he will be behind Sasha Lenz and Steffi Halm, with René Reiner in 7th position. And as we look further back towards the chicane for his first chrome victory in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, it's Luke Garrett across the line. Brilliant stuff from Luke here this morning and this afternoon. He sorted it out in qualifying and he takes his first chrome win from his countrymen, Mark Taylor and John Newell. Very well done to those guys. Louis Requenco finishing in 4th place in chrome ahead of Jonathan Andre, Bradley Smith, and then Stefan Faas. Good to see him finish a race. Clemens Hecker and Stefan Kirsch. Norbert Kish takes another win. And very well done to him for it. With Jochen Hahn in 2nd. Antonio Albacete in 3rd place. A very, very strong drive once again from Antonio. Some more silverware for the team to celebrate. And just coming over the brow of the hill there, Luke Garrett takes his first win in the chrome category in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. He and the team will be absolutely over the moon with that. A massive amount of hard work has gone into getting that truck reliable. There are the team. There's Danielle, Lisa, Daryl and the team. Alice giving a quick well done on the way through. They're all smiles, which is lovely to see. They're one of the most friendly crews in the entire paddock. And like I say, the reliability issues they've had with that truck in the last few seasons have been colossal. And it's come together with their new sponsor and partner for this year. And this lovely asymmetrical livery. And they'll be over the moon. Let's have a look at some results then, shall we? And confirm how this one has panned out here at Zolder. Norbert Kish wins from Jochen Hahn around 6 seconds, as I said, with Antonio Albacete in 3rd place. Sasha Lenz is bumped into 4th place with Steffi Halm next up. Then it's Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and René Reiner. Then we have the top 3 in chrome, Luke Garrett, Mark Taylor and John Newell, making it an all-British podium here this afternoon in race number 3. Louis Requenco next up ahead of Jonathan Andre. Bradley Smith couldn't quite move as far forward as he wanted to, with Stefan Faas in 14th, Clemens Hecker in 15th, and Stefan Kirsch in 16th. All of those guys will be hoping to make more progress than that when it comes to race number 4 of the weekend. There's certainly a lot of work to be done for some of them before that race gets underway. But there goes Norbert Kish into the pit lane. And he'll get a standard well done from the team. They've got a lot to celebrate down there in Reveche Racing, especially after the amount of repairs they did on the truck overnight to get it back to full racing speed and have it working for him like that in this race was a great, great job. A job well done. Jochen Hahn happy with second. Huge truck horn sound from somewhere in the paddock. It could have been any of them, to be honest. And Norby makes his way out of Baloo, checks over the tyres. Usually has a good look at the tyres just to make sure. And fist in the air and a wave to us as well. A happy boy today is Norby. Well done from the team. Hugs and handshakes all around. I love it when they all get the same congratulations. You know, it's lovely. Great team spirit there. Jochen speaks to his engineer. Another second place after taking a win yesterday as well. Back-to-back solid results for him. A big sturdy hug from Jochen. And he now goes to inspect the truck as well. All the drivers at the end of the day need to know about their machines and they all check it over. Luke's having a good chat with the guys. He's absolutely buzzing, isn't he? Let's go down and speak to some of our drivers with Alice, shall we?
Thanks for that, Chaz. We are here with Norby. Norby, can I? So, amazing race as usual. Make that look pretty easy. How was it for you?
Oh yeah, it was a good one. Good start. Yeah, well, big thank you for the Davis Racing team, you know, and the guys, because they fixed the truck, you know, from the crash of yesterday, and you know it works really well. Already, you know, qualifying was nice, and then the race as well. You know, good start. First lap was a bit, you know, so not so confident, you know, because of the dirt on the circuit and everything. But you know, then I picked up the pace and could go ahead and leave Johan a bit behind. So, you know, overall, I think very good race, very good day.
And as you said, there was a massive job there for the team to get the truck sorted overnight. Everything all running fine? Anything feel a bit different or as confident as always in the truck?
Yeah, I mean, almost 100%. You know, I think we did what we can. We did what we could. Obviously, we don't have every spare part, so the rear axle is a bit bent that we couldn't fix yesterday, you know, because we don't have. But you know, even with the bent rear axle, we are faster than the Ivekos and Johan and everybody, you know, so I'm happy.
And finally, obviously reverse grid P8, but you normally make that look pretty easy as well. Feeling confident for another podium later?
Yeah, well, you know, I always try to do the maximum I can, you know. They told me I'm aggressive, but I don't think I am. But, you know, the reverse grid races are always a bit crazy. So, you know, again, approach is the same, you know. I try to do everything I can. If there is a possibility to overtake, which for me feels, you know, okay, then for sure I will go for it. So we'll see where we end up. If we can go to the podium, or maybe we end up in the wall again, you know. You never know.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Norby. Congratulations on the win. So we'll head back to Chaz now for the podium celebrations.
Thank you, Alice. And yeah, Norby giving us his honest thoughts as ever. And I tell you, it is nice to hear honest thoughts of a driver. They certainly are emotional and they tell us how it is. And we always appreciate that. No mixing words, which is always good. A word there from John Newell to Mark Taylor. You could see Alan Taylor in there as well. And everybody will be ready to celebrate on the podium in just a moment's time. An all-British podium as well, which I can't remember the last time we've seen. I'm going to try not to get too patriotic, but of course it is interesting for those guys to lock that one out. Just trying to see if we've had one at all this season. I don't know if we did. You'll have to forgive me while I just scan the results. We did have a all-British podium, actually. We did not, sorry. I think I'm going crazy here, but no, we did not have an all-British podium yet so far this season. So this will be the first one, and these guys can all celebrate together. Luke Garrett and the team clearly very, very happy, and maybe even a little bit relieved as well. Some selfies taken too from the guys. Great stuff. A wonderful moment for him and the team. His first ever win in Chrome. And to do it with the support of his new sponsor and partner this season. A great time to do it as well. They've had a lot of help and they've had a lot of hard times as well down at Garrett Truck Sport. And Jochen going to, I think, give his congratulations there and a big handshake as well. And Norby also handing out his congratulations too to the guys and to Jochen. Dominic is saying, come on guys, stop messing about, get on the podium. Handshake from Norby to Antonio and Javier Martin. Commentating on the people interacting is the busiest bit of the day. Lisa and the kids very happy as well. His son Alfie is there as well. Alfie does an amazing job in karting and recently won Kart Masters in his class over here in the UK. I'm so used to commentating at home, I just said over here. I'm in Belgium as well, you know. Antonio Albacete makes his way up to the podium. I think after how yesterday's race finished, he'll be a lot happier to have done it that way. Jochen Hahn making his way up to the second step of the podium. And a big handshake to his long-term rival. And up to the top step comes Norbert Kish after taking another race victory here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. A big handshake from Jochen. And I think Norby very focused now on continuing to complete the championship charge at Le Mans in a week's time. Obviously, yesterday's race took a little bit of a sting out of the tail, but at the same time, he's as motivated as ever to finish the job next week. We still have one more race to go, though. Please don't take this as me signing off. We still have a lot of work to do here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. But for now, we will listen to the Hungarian national anthem for Norbert Kish, our race winner.
The national anthem of Hungary.
And another fantastic piece of silverware for Norbert Kish. And that one, after the repair job by the team, will mean a lot to him. And the guys make their way up onto the top step together with their trophies for pictures for the media. And then they will change their caps to their own respective brands. And I can tell you, after the sunburn I've experienced today, you need a hat around here at Zolder when it's like this. Didn't expect it to be anything like this, and my head is like leather right now. Still a great race from these top three. They'll spray the media pen with champagne, as they so often do. I think everybody, including my colleague Alice there on the right-hand side, staying well clear to make sure they don't get absolutely drenched. There's some fans over to the right-hand side, or to our left, that Norby was soaking just there. There's a bit of fence where they can all stand in the stairwell. And Norby made sure that he soaked a lot of them. And this is how the championship standings look then as a result of that one. Norbert Kish now over 300 points in this season, with Jochen Hahn on 238. Steffi Halm holds on to third place, but Sasha Lenz is closing in. Not many points between the two of them. Same with Antonio Albacete and Rene Reinert. They now swap over. Antonio moves up into fifth place. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez is definitely not out of the picture. And Mark Taylor now moves back ahead of Clemens Hecker in the overall standings, with Bradley Smith completing the top 10. We still have Lucas Hahn, John Newell, Stefan Fast, Louis Riquenco, Jonathan Andre and Luke Garrett completing the field. Luke with now a bunch more points than he had before, recuperating for losing some of them after a penalty yesterday. John Newell makes his way up to the podium. Third place for him. He'll be pleased with that. Some more silverware to take back over to the UK. Mark Taylor making his way up to the second step of the podium just now. He needed those points today, did Mark. That puts him back in the lead of the Chrome Championship. But for his first ever Chrome win, Luke Garrett makes his way up onto the top step. It's been a long time coming, this victory. They've had great pace when the truck has been working, and now they've got it working for him. He's on the top step. Beautiful stuff. A very big congratulations to our top three as the trophies are handed out. And Luke Garrett receives his first race winner's trophy in the Chrome class, and look how happy he is. Epic. And now we'll get the British national anthem for Luke and his team.
England.
And the anthem sounding out for our all-British podium here in the Chrome category. 3 drivers that have raced together for a long time. Very, very good colleagues of each other. It's great to see the 3 of them succeeding well here in Europe and having a good time doing it as well. I speak to these guys quite a lot, and as with any other team in the paddock, you know, I speak to all of them quite a bit, and they all really enjoy themselves over here in the European Series. And Luke is going to enjoy spraying that champagne from the top step for the first time. John's not even got the cork off his yet. He gets him a little bit at least. I'm sure if Luke ends up back on the podium later on this afternoon, he'll get even more soaked by the likes of Mark Taylor and John Newell. But that race winner's hat, I'm sure, will be kept very dearly by Luke. Mark Taylor then leads the Chrome Championship now on 209 points. Bradley Smith ahead of Clemens Hecker by just 2 points. It's incredible how quickly this switches around. John Newell is 4th on 191 ahead of Louis Riquenco. And now Luke Garrett starts to enter the picture as well with that win. Stefan Faas is 7th ahead of Lucas Hahn, Jonathan Andre and Christian Ruppert in 10th position. We look forward to hopefully seeing Christian back with us at Le Mans. Then we have Stefan Kirsch and Martin Matzik completing our Chrome drivers. So now, what's best is to look back at some wonderful highlights from that third race of the weekend. They go by so quickly. So Norbert Kisch and Jochen Hahn on the front row once again then, with Antonio Albacete and René Reinert side by side. The contact at the first corner would eventually get Jose Eduardo Rodriguez a penalty, and he would drop down 2 places behind the likes of Sascha Lenz and Steffi Halm. In all of it though, Luke Garrett had gotten ahead of Mark Taylor and took the lead in the Chrome class, which he would go on to hold until the very end, taking his first Chrome victory. Bradley Smith had a good fight with the likes of Clemens Hecker and Louis Riquenco and Stefan Faas as well. Just all of the Chrome drivers in the mix. It was great fun to watch, while Norbert Kisch led the way. Sascha Lenz was all over the back of Jose Eduardo for the remainder of the race, but unfortunately couldn't quite make it through, thinking about the penalty that Jose Eduardo had. René Reinert also got a penalty as well. He had an overspeeding penalty, unfortunately, but Norbert Kisch took the win at the front of the field ahead of Hahn and Albacete, with Luke Garrett taking his first ever Chrome victory. He and the team absolutely delighted with that. Norby very pleased too. And I will go back down to Alice.
That, Chaz, well, I am here with Race 2 Chrome winner, first-time Chrome winner, Luke Garrett. Now, I think I'm not alone when I'm saying this has been quite a popular victory. Everyone's absolutely stoked for you. Just talk us through the race from your side of things.
Obviously, we've been getting fast all weekend, so I kind of knew we had the pace, but it's like putting all the things together and making it work. So, got a good start. Just wanted to keep a good gap with Mark and try and keep it and just manage the brakes. I actually ran out of water on the last lap, so the brakes got really hot, so I was obviously asking them for information, how much quick, trying to just make sure the gap was at least a second so I could, finish the race.
Was there any moment in that where you thought, this is it, I've done it, or was it just when the checkered flag fell? No, when I crossed the line and seen the brakes were at 400 degrees on the last lap, I was like, okay, this is going to be a challenge to even finish the race and win it. So, I was, like I said, they said I had a 3-second gap, so I just managed it throughout the last lap to be able to win it. So. And on to final race of the weekend next. What do you think you can do from there? I actually think we're starting pole. So obviously that puts 7 trucks in between us and the next Chrome category person. So looks good, but you know what racing's like. So let's see what happens. Right. Thank you, and congratulations once again. As I said, a very popular win here for Luke. So that is it, win 15 for Nobby Kish. We also have a brand new Chrome winner there in Luke Garrett. We're back at 1 later today for the final race of the weekend, so we will see you there with hopefully more sunshine, ready to go racing once again at Circuit Zolder.